Horror isn't just jump scares. For some characters, it's a journey from victim to victor.
This is Final Girls, the podcast where we analyze the genre's iconic leading ladies.
These women don't run, they reload, and we gather survival tips along the way.
I'm Kelly, a film grad and slasher enthusiast.
And I'm Sarah, a pop culture writer with a killer instinct for subtext.
So choose your weapon because this is gonna get messy. Welcome, Scream Things, to a very special holiday-centric episode.
Yes.
That holiday being Thanksgiving, which, as I've said before, is sometimes on my birthday. It's not this year, but I still it holds a special place in my heart for that reason.
Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Okay, as a vegetarian, I'm not a big Thanksgiving girl. I also have never really liked Thanksgiving food. It's not really my thing. It's just too heavy.
That's fair.
And honestly, I'm not the kind of vegetarian that expects people to kind of bend to my dietary restrictions. So I won't make a big thing of it. Most of the people that I celebrate with know, so they'll have options for me, or I'll bring my own. But for the most part, I always end up with sides, which is just kind of the case, especially in certain parts of the country. I'll just end up with sides. So I just eat a lot of mashed potatoes.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I'm not a vegetarian, but the sides are easily my favorite part.
Yeah.
And I love mashed potatoes and gravy.
Yeah.
And I love stuffing. And I love dessert.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Oh, pumpkin pie. Pecan pie. You'll get me every time.
Everything.
Yeah.
My mom makes a cheesecake.
Oh, yeah, she does.
And so I just love to just feast on just big piles of yummy food. So
yeah. I wish, I've tried the tofurkeys. I've tried all those. It's fine. I prefer. I don't know. Maybe this sounds really lame, but I prefer something fresh, like a salad or. Something like that. And it's just really heavy.
Too.
Yeah, just really heavy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but I can't believe we're here. It feels like I think we said this last week, but holy shit, where did this year go?
Where did the year go?
It's just insane.
No, we have now been podcasting for almost exactly a year.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's just where did this year go? And we've met so many cool people in Scream Things. If you have been following us since the beginning, thank you. We are so grateful for you. There are some people that we met when we started this journey last year that are still with us, that are still friends, that we still check in with regularly. And
thank you for believing in us.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's very humbling. And all the new people that have been joining up and sending us messages, thank you. We sincerely, deeply, deeply are thankful for you.
Keeping exactly. With the theme. Thank you for keeping in the theme. Yes, thank you. Maybe this is your first episode ever of Final Girls. Maybe you were curious because there is almost no other Thanksgiving themed horror movies, and so you want to hear people talk about it. So if that's the case, welcome.
Welcome.
Regardless.
Yeah. We're thankful for you. And we would also be very thankful if you leave us a rating or review. I'm just going to throw that in there.
How many times are we going to say the word thanks in this episode?
Let's do, you know what?
We do a counter?
Yeah, right? A little ding every time. Yeah. Oh my God, maybe I'll do that. If you could leave us a rating and review. I haven't brought this up at the top that many times recently. And when I do, we get more. And I just say this every time. And if you're tired of hearing it and you haven't left a review, maybe this is your cue to do one. It really helps us for lots of reasons. Mostly right now, it's because it helps us look legit. And every time someone comes to our show pages and they see how many reviews and whatever, the more the merrier. Just makes us look legit. And we've said this before, we have hundreds more listeners than we have actual reviews. So if everyone could just take a few seconds, that would be so grateful. We'd be very, very thankful for you. And if you've already done it, thank you. We are so grateful. Again,
like I said,
we do.
I recently went through all of the sources of reviews and read them all. And it was very special. So.
I put them on our website too. So we just, it's wonderful. We have such a great community. So we would be very appreciative of that. And other big announcement haunted housekeeping. We are launching our Patreon I guess this is coming out Wednesday, on Friday, Black Friday, this week. We are launching our
Yep.
Patreon on Black Friday, and that was
Mhm.
chosen because, obviously, because it's Black Friday,
Spooky.
which is very, very also appropriate with this episode that we're going to be talking about. But Black Friday, we are launching a Patreon. We have two levels. We have the Sydney Prescott level, $3.33 a month. You get one extra podcast episode. And the Ellen Ripley is $6.66 because I love 666. I love that number. It's wonderful. And that will get you two extra content pieces.
Yeah.
And when I say content pieces, I mean extra podcast episodes. And we are going to be doing like a weekly kind of roundup newsletter of cool links and funny memes and stories and notes. And if you want to write something and publish something, send it our way. So we have some really fun stuff coming down the pike on Friday. So if you have not already checked out our website, we'll have all the information there. It's final-girls.com. So yeah, exciting times for Final Girls and the Scream things. And yeah, and I think the haunted house has been kept.
Kept and swept.
Let's
So
let's jump
that means we're
in.
ready for company.
We we're ready for Thanksgiving dinner.
Yes, we are. And I guess on the note of my birthday, this is kind of my birthday episode because it's going to come
Yeah.
out 2 days after my birthday. So whatever, like it was, yeah. So we'll get into it. Okay, so let me do my usual thing. This movie is from 2023, like we said. So the logline is after a Black Friday riot ends in tragedy, a mysterious Thanksgiving inspired killer terrorizes Plymouth, Massachusetts, the birthplace of the infamous holiday. It's a little strange to call it the infamous holiday. Maybe just for like colonization
Yeah,
reasons.
exactly.
Uh, but
Exactly.
so, okay, we're going to talk more about him in a minute because I have more to say. But this is written and directed by Eli Roth, obviously, of Cabin Fever fame, Hostel 1 and 2, The Green Inferno, Knock Knock, Thanksgiving 2, and also Borderlands. Oh, Borderlands. Why would you do this to Borderlands, Eli Roth? So we're gonna get more into that. It's also written by Jeff Frendel, who I wasn't familiar with. It stars Nell Varlak. How would you pronounce her name, do you think? Verlak? It's like
Um,
Verlaque.
yeah, that sounds about
Okay.
right to me. Works for me.
Okay. So she's our final girl, Jessica. Her dad is played by Rick Hoffman, who was also had a small role in the first Hostel. Uh, Spoiler alert, both of those actors are going to be in Thanksgiving too, as well. And we have Patrick Dempsey, kind
McDreamy.
of random. Yeah. And I guess he is a native Bostonian, and so that was his real accent
I
that
was
he
gonna
had to
say,
suppress.
yeah,
Yeah, that is a strong accent. You're
yeah.
gonna hear a lot of it throughout this movie. So obviously, yes, everyone knows him from
Taya
Grey's
Iron.
Anatomy. Yeah. Scream 3. Totally forgot he was in that. And also Dexter Original Sin, which I haven't watched yet. Gina Gershon plays Amanda briefly. She is from Bound, Showgirls, Face Off, which I love, Chucky, the show. Also Thanksgiving too. I'm not really sure how that works.
Flashback.
And yeah, flashbacks probably. And she also played Moxie in the Borderlands movie. Two more, because I'm not going to go through all of the teenagers, but Ty Olson, who plays Mitch in this, a lot of people will know him as Benny from Supernatural. I have to point out Supernatural actors when they occur. And lastly, I'm just going to mention Addison Rae as Gabby because she is a famous singer slash influencer.
Yep.
So
And Eli Roth gives special thanks to Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez in the credits. Did you see that?
I did not see that,
Which
but
makes sense. I mean, it's a grindhouse.
well,
Like,
so yeah, so let's set that stage. So this movie came about because the Grindhouse double feature that we did are two other episodes about, so you should listen to those.
we'll
They're really
link that in
fun.
the show notes. Yeah.
Yeah. They had fake movie trailers before the films, and this was one of them. It was a slasher movie called Thanksgiving. And at some point, Eli Roth decided, you know what? That would make a fun full-length movie. and it became an actual movie. So that's the Grindhouse tie-in. And
And it
what
feels very Grindhouse.
it does. Although the fake trailer has a lot more of kind of like a skeevy, like 70s
Mm,
sex kind of slasher vibe, but they didn't. This movie's not very heavy on the sex at all.
yeah,
Let's Before we dive in, let's talk about Eli Roth for a second
yeah.
because I have opinions. What
Let's
is
hear it.
your what's your opinion on Eli Roth?
I don't know if I have that big of a one. I feel like maybe this makes me a bad horror fan, but I don't
No,
really have one. Other than the like picking up the I didn't like Hostel. Wasn't a big fan of
fair.
Hostel. I didn't see Borderlands. Um, I I don't really have an opinion. I will say
Fair.
he did. Not only did he thank Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez, he also thanked Glenn Danzig. So I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, are they friends? Because
Good
that would be
taste in
pretty
music,
fucking
yeah.
cool. Yeah. So, but yeah, I don't really have an opinion on Eli Roth. I'm going to hear yours though.
That's fair. Yes, I think that a lot of people listening to this probably either love him or hate him. He's very divisive because obviously the movies that he makes are controversial to say the least. Not everyone enjoys the torture porn genre.
Yeah.
Completely understandable if you don't. It's not for everyone. I don't particularly like Hostel 1 and 2 either. I don't think I'm as skeeved out by them as a lot of people are, but I don't revisit them.
Hmm.
I watch them and I'm like, great. I do love Cabin Fever. I think Cabin Fever is a lot of fun and it's super gross and crazy. I didn't see Knock Knock because because I'm a huge Keanu fan, like who isn't, but I can't stomach seeing Keanu in like what I assume are more like torturous situations.
Mm.
And The Green Inferno is the only movie that I've ever walked out of.
That's
Like
right. I
I've
remember you
mentioned
saying
in
that.
past,
Yeah.
yeah. And I don't know, maybe I would be able to stomach it now. I saw it when it came out, and it was just we were like, we're just not enjoying this,
Yeah.
so we left. I also haven't seen Borderlands yet because, like I said, I'm still bitter because I really love the Borderlands video game series, and I have heard that it's just a hot mess, which really pisses me off. But the thing is, I do believe that he's a very competent filmmaker in general, and he can do great things. What he does isn't always to everyone's taste. Uh, this movie, I think, is in the solid column,
Oh,
so it's like,
100%.
so whatever you feel about his other movies, I think that this one is probably going to be more palatable
Hmm.
than Hostel for a
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
people. I mean, it
Oh,
is
yeah.
quite gruesome. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
There's some fucked up shit.
But it's not torture porn. And I
It's
feel
not.
like Hostel was it was part of the early tide into that torture porn
Yeah.
era that Hostel just put a bad taste in my mouth. I
Yeah.
didn't like it at all. And this one I loved. I loved this one.
If I want torture porn, I go for Saw.
Oh,
Like I just
yes.
prefer Saw a
Mm-hmm.
million times over.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is about this movie is that it does have strong comedic elements.
Mm-hmm.
This is a tongue-in-cheek, like
It's very
horror, like
self-aware.
dark comedy. We have the awareness. It's ridiculously over the top. It's so obviously a love letter to. We're gonna talk about this later, I'm sure. Like My Bloody Valentine. I
I
Know
put
What
that
You
on
Did Last
I put that one on
Summer.
mine
Yeah.
too. Final
I,
Destination.
Yep, and so
Halloween.
it has that fun, like you can tell that Eli Roth is a huge fan of those movies, and that affection
Mm-hmm.
comes through in this in a way that's really, really fun, while he also puts his own spin on it. And I felt like this movie is what Clown in a Cornfield wanted to be. And
Oh,
I don't mind Clown in a Cornfield,
yeah,
but I
I
think
could
it
see
was
that.
trying to strike a very similar vibe, and there are very similar scenes in both
Hmm.
movies too, like the parade and
Hmm.
the ending taking place in the warehouse and stuff. But anyway, I've talked a lot to preface this, so let's just dive in. Thanksgiving, our final girl, Jessica.
I felt like this. It's funny you mentioned the other movies that this was clearly a love letter to. This was, I wrote it was 30% Halloween,
Mhm.
50% I Know What You Did Last Summer, and 30% or 20% Final Destination set during Thanksgiving.
Hmm.
I loved this movie so much. For me, I gave it, I don't want to say a rare 10 out of 10 because, like I've said before, I'm entertained by a lot. But it didn't take itself too seriously. We had a great fucking final girl. It was brutal.
It's creative.
It was so the tongue-in-cheek gore was fantastic. The camp was great. She's Jess is a really Jess was a fun final girl because I think what I liked the most about her was that she like we said with Dina a couple weeks ago, she kind of checked all the boxes of what a final girl should be, but they all took her seriously from the get-go. Like they kind of looked to her for guidance and
Yeah.
leadership, and even when she was hatching the plan to bait the killer to the parade. And
Right.
we get a very I Know What You Did Last Summer type parade scene.
Yep.
And it's just there's a lot to like with
Yeah.
Jessica. She also has this she looks a lot like one of my friends, but she has a
Mhm.
very young Julia Roberts look.
Oh
I
yeah,
noticed.
I can
She
see
just
that.
yeah. She also she's kind of a cool girl, but she's not like a cool girl in like a pick me way.
Yeah.
She's like, she can pack a rifle because her dad made her do
Hmm.
it and learned how to shoot. She has, this super cute, like college baseball player boyfriend. And then this other John Cusack looking guy who's into her. And
Yeah, they've got a bunch of like jock types.
yeah.
Like,
She's married her stepmom who is married to her dad. So her dad is this big CEO of Right Mart, which is kind of like
just basically like
this.
S Smart.
Yeah, yes, exactly. It's S Smart. And he's married to this woman who, presumably is kind of like gold diggerish, maybe a little bit. Jess's mom died.
Hmm.
And the stepmom's, she's kind of like, Real Housewivesy. And Jessica's like, casual is my thing. Like the stepmom kind of makes her feel bad about
Yeah.
wearing something casual to Thanksgiving dinner.
Meanwhile, the stepmom is wearing things like denim jumpsuits
Oh, yeah.
with like a trench coat with like thigh highs.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. No, she's
Uh,
very
Not in
like,
the Thanksgiving dinner scene, but later, and I was like, that is a
yeah.
wild outfit.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
very like suburban,
Yeah.
like housewife mother. Yeah. She's judgmental, blames Jessica for everything. Jessica's clearly has this, pain from losing her mother. She wears a locket, which
Hmm.
is an interesting choice. I don't think I know anyone that wears a locket. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but a part of me was like, I wonder how much this was definitely written by a man.
Yeah.
Because a girl, like in 2023 or
Yeah.
whatever, maybe in the 80s or 90s, we wore lockets, especially I guess she's like an 18-year-old girl, but still.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but at the same time, I wonder if that's one of the elements that's kind of winking at the audience, like, yeah, this is
This is
dumb.
silly.
This
Okay.
is like not a realistic thing that this
Well, then
character
it
would
comes
do.
to
Like,
help
it's
her in
just
the end.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
She ends up using it to take down the
Hmm.
killer, which,
Hmm.
so it's one of those little totems.
Totally.
But yeah, she has this kind of weird relationship with you know what I really liked about this with her dad? I really liked this kind of like it's all tongue in cheek, but I do really appreciate how there's this very real critique of consumerism and
Yeah.
especially like Black Friday / holiday consumerism and just people literally, I mean, we'll get to the inciting incident, but there's the CEO, the dad really embodies he this need for profit.
Yeah, the
And there's
greed.
like yeah, it's greed. So like in the beginning it starts with a dinner, a Thanksgiving dinner that ends early, and they say, "Oh, Black Friday starts on Thursday," which
Yep.
is very true.
Sure
My
does.
ex-husband worked for Target for years, and he didn't get Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving started at 3,
Yeah.
or Black Friday started at 3 p.m. on
Yeah.
Thursday. So it was kind of like that's part of the whole thing. That's what sets this whole thing off is that this Black Friday thing happening on Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
It's
which
interesting.
we should mention, yes, we are aware that there is a movie called Black Friday
Yeah,
starring
yeah.
Bruce Campbell. Very different vibe from this
Yes.
one, but I was surprised to see Black Friday feature so heavily in
Hmm.
this film as a reason for the killer's motivations. But yeah, definitely it's a critique on consumerism because the people are all the reason that everything goes down is because I guess they're offering a free waffle iron
Hmm.
with your purchase.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I mean, we can get more into it. But yeah, Jess and her friends go to why were they going? One of the guys wanted a new phone.
Well, yeah, they were going somewhere like a movie or something, and the driver Evan like slams on the brakes, and
Yeah.
Yulia is doing her lipstick, and it
Oh
like
yeah.
goes all over her face, and she's like, "Oh, you owe me a lipstick." It's just a reason to get there.
Sure, sure.
But this Black Friday, I mean, you see this Black Friday tension start, which I thought this was great storytelling. The tension starts mounting and mounting and mounting, and the crowd gets louder and louder and louder, and the people inside
Mhm.
start to get more freaked
They're getting
out.
all riled
And
up.
yeah,
Well, the people outside are getting all riled up, and you can tell that it's going to be one of those like
it's
crazy
chaos.
stampedes,
Oh,
which
it's
have,
January 6th in the Right Mart.
yeah, exactly,
That's what it looked
exactly.
like. They were like
Totally,
running things down, running down the barricade, and
totally. And people, not to make light of it, but people have died
oh yeah.
in Black Friday related trampling incidents. So this is a thing that actually happens, which is really sad and scary.
Does it happen that often anymore though? That's the thing.
No,
Like I remember so when I was in high school, so this was like the early 2000s, I remember my friend and her mom used to go to Black Friday, make a big thing of it, and they would go like 3 a.m. on Black Friday to like stand in line for these deals.
yeah,
I feel like COVID changed that. I feel like it was on its way out because people were like me and my ex we're starting to get really fed up with not having Thanksgiving dinner and stuff, and people are starting to get really pissed off, and like I feel like there was kind of a revolt on the consumer side, at least a significant one, maybe not one that was big enough to stop it, but
right.
a significant reckoning with what are we doing, like what's going on here. But
Well, I mean, I think part of what has helped to, I don't want to say resolve it because it's definitely still an issue, but online shopping.
exactly.
Like, why would you go stand in line at the store at 4 a.m. to fight for a PS5 when you can get on Amazon in your pajamas and order it and not have, like, you might get a better deal if you're going to the store and like it with the crowd and everything, but convenience like can't be understated. But
Yeah.
so I'm
Yeah.
like a big on like I never buy anything in person if I can help it. I'm always shopping online, so I don't do the Black Friday thing at all really. And it's yeah, it's kind of a gross is it just an American thing? Do you know?
I mean, I'm not sure. You
I don't know.
scream things. Let us know. I feel like it's a very uniquely American concept.
It feels very American, so
Like just yeah, get together, then go spend money together. I will say Black Friday Riot would be a fantastic band name if
that is a
someone
good
wants to take that. If it's funny, I feel like there was another episode. I think it was the House of Wax one we just did, where I was like, "Oh, check out this band name. Someone use it." So I have all these band names. People just use them. You don't even
I
have
think
to
of
give me
that
credit.
every time I hear like a unique phrase. I'm like, okay, someone
Band
has to
name. Oh
coin that.
yeah, it's like the Chris Pratt. It's the Andy Dwyer.
Yeah.
Like new band name. I call it.
Yeah.
The Black Friday madness that we watch unfold. It's wild because it's very gory. Like we get a
Yeah.
scalping. We get like someone getting stabbed in the neck for the
Yeah.
waffle iron, and then of course, like it's so tongue in cheek. Like these people are
Oh,
getting
yeah.
brutally ripped apart, but they're
Well,
still
and the
like grabbing their
door,
waffle iron.
yeah. I think someone gets bashed with a waffle iron, but like
Yeah.
the door shatters on the way in and then a dude like cuts his throat like as he's being rushed in and yeah, it's brutal. Like, yeah, it's Eli Roth's style, right? We're gonna
Yeah.
get a lot of crazy gore and this is supposed to start kick that off.
Well, this also is a very explicit critique of social media rot
Mm,
because this did not happen back in the early 2000s when the Black Friday stuff really started taking
yeah.
off, but this is a unique timestamp in that it is entirely about these kids live streaming this massacre, this riot. And that's kind of what kicks
That's a
off
big
this whole
factor.
thing. Yeah, because they're sitting here, they're doing the, like and subscribe to our YouTube video. They're doing all these really hokey, you know, awfully tone deaf like
Very
animations and sound.
insensitive.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
insensitive. And they're just, it's not only a consumerism critique, it's also this social media rot critique as well, which is really fascinating.
Uh,
But
the timestamp, by the way, does say that these events are happening on my birthday in 2022.
oh, really?
So I,
Oh,
I
that's
won't keep talking
funny.
about my birthday, but I was
Oh,
like,
that's funny.
hey, oh, they're all dying. That's cool.
It's just an interesting, it's a really fun, I say fun because it is a very well choreographed, well shot scene.
It's
Very,
intense.
it's intense. It's paced well. There are things that make you laugh in like a fucked up way. But ultimately it's Jess lets this group in of her friends while everyone else is waiting outside because her dad is the one he's the guy that owns he's the CEO. He owns
Yeah,
the
not
Right
a good
Mart.
idea.
And that's what pisses everyone off because they're like, how are these kids getting in before everyone else? And that's what kicks off this riot that we see. And then it ends with, I will say Sheriff McDreamy, with the sheriff firing the gun and then yelling stop. And then it goes to the title card,
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, which I love, is my
Yeah.
favorite. When any movie does this, they do like the insane inciting incident and then
Yeah.
boom, right to the
And then
title
boom.
card. It's like, oh, shit's already gotten started. We're already in. Like,
And like I'm wearing my non-official Final Girls hoodie right now, and I'm pretty sure it's the exact font that
yes,
is the Final Girls on the back of the
yes,
hoodie. Like it's just like
yes,
dripping blood font.
yeah,
It's really fun. So yeah, and we won't spoil the killer just yet, but I want to talk about the killer's concept for a second because this is what made me think of My Bloody Valentine, where it's like
hmm
you take a holiday that is not normally associated with slasher movies, and then you bring in some of the fun, like thematic elements, and you can come up with like a cool concept for a killer. So my thinking is that Eli Roth at one point learned, oh yeah, the guy like the founding governor of Plymouth, his name was John Carver.
hmm
Carver? Like, I think that was the idea behind the whole movie because I was like, oh, yeah, that is a cool slasher name.
it is a cool slasher
And
name.
so the killer in this movie wears a kind of shitty plastic John Carver mask that later gets pretty like burnt up, which looks really
It
cool.
looks really cool.
Yeah, and kind of like a standard pilgrim outfit, and he is collecting people for his Thanksgiving dinner that's going to happen at the end of the movie. And so he's bringing in bodies and kind of setting them around the table, this like nice little setting. And he also kills in Thanksgiving related ways,
Yes,
like,
which I love the
which is
theme.
hilarious.
It's such a
Like
commitment to a theme.
electric turkey carver,
The
those
corn
little the
cob,
corn cob
like holder
holders
handle things.
like gets
Yeah,
jammed into someone's ears.
yeah,
And yes, someone gets baked in an
roasted.
oven,
Yep.
roasted in an oven. So it's a really fun. It made me wonder, like, how come this hasn't been done before? Especially because
Yeah,
Thanksgiving is so tied into eating and feasting, and it seems like that would lend itself to horrific
yeah.
ideas, and
It's
it does.
also yeah, and it's also interesting because he brings in the social media stuff too. Like I
Mhm.
don't like he takes these cryptic photos of the table and he's like the table is set and then he tags all the
Yeah.
kids that were in Jess's group that did the
hmm
live streaming from the Black
hmm
Friday riot. And so we get like this social media element to it as well. And yeah, it's really there's also a lot of Michael Myers esque things that this John Carver does.
hmm
So like, there's a lot of callbacks to Halloween. So there's which is funny because we just talked about Dina from Night at the Reaper, which also, I mean,
I know.
Halloween is such a
Halloween is
it's the
pervasive
blueprint.
throughout, like, yeah.
Yeah, it's the blueprint. But you see Jess like looking out the window and sees John Carver, and it's like there's just all these callbacks You get like at the diner, she looks out the window and she sees this quick view of him, and it's just like Lori does in the classroom.
Totally.
It's a really cool killer, and
And I like the setting too of Plymouth.
um,
I always
yeah,
love those. And I live in kind of a similar area where it's very kind of historic, small town vibes, and that's really cozy to me. And so I
hmm
like the movies that take place in settings like that. And yeah, it feels very autumny and just enjoyable.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, and this is a year. The movie takes place a year. Well, the bulk of the story takes place a year after this Black Friday riot. So the
so cool.
another part of the critique of this consumerism is that Jessica is like, why are we pretending that everything is normal because her dad is going to do the same Black Friday thing a year
Hmm.
after this riot happened,
Yeah.
which also, not to get like too political, but also is kind of like it makes me feel like everything that's going on right now, it's like, have we not learned anything? Like why are we pretending that nothing's wrong, that this shit didn't go down last
I
year?
mean, if anything, it's like any publicity is good publicity,
Hmm.
right? So it's like it probably everyone around the country became aware of his store
That's
for that
true.
reason. And so, yeah, he's probably set to make a shit ton of money that night. And so, yes, they are planning to hold it again, and that is leading to kind of residual counter riots from people who
Hmm.
lost loved ones in the events.
Well, and
Like,
Jessica's on that side where she's like, "Why are we doing this?" Like
yeah.
she starts her journey with survivor's guilt. Like she already
Hmm.
has the survival's guilt, survivor's guilt. She already thinks that it was kind of her fault for like inciting this riot, and also he wants to use her in a like ad like a commercial, and she's
Yeah.
like, "No,
No.
really?" So yeah, there's all kinds of weirdness
Well,
there.
and so the killer isn't just targeting the social media streamers. He's also targeting people who took part in gruesome, murders during the course of the riot, like the
Hmm.
diner waitress,
Hmm.
whose name I can't remember, but I read that she is like a grand niece of No, hold on. Got this. Let me look it up. Let me look it up.
Yeah, and it's at this part too, like, and also Jessica's getting a lot of, she's having a lot of conversations with the sheriff, and Bobby is back in town. So Bobby also was her boyfriend. He's the baseball player that was in college. And during the riot, his hand gets broken, which is a career-ending injury. And so he skips town. He just ghosts, and then presumably they break up. She's with this John Cusack guy. I
Well, he
call him
just, yeah,
John.
he just goes, sir.
He just
So,
ghosts her,
like,
but he's back in town now, a year later,
which that
and
made me think of My Bloody Valentine
yep,
also. So, like,
100%
Tom
agree.
comes in and immediately starts shit
Hmm.
up with, and
That's exactly what I wrote in mine too about My Bloody Valentine.
yeah.
It's
And you get the whole like who done it
yeah,
element, just like in
yeah,
My Bloody
you
Valentine.
do. That's
And
exactly because you think maybe it's Bobby,
yeah,
and then you think maybe
exactly.
it's the other guy, and the
Yeah, we get
sheriff
some.
meanwhile is like, this, like it's always the ones that make the small mistakes. That's how you get them.
Oh yeah.
The sheriff has kind of this paternal, almost like maybe an uncle, big brother, maybe type of a thing where he's where he believes. Well, I should say he makes Jessica think that she's being believed, but it has kind of this like spillover effect where because the sheriff is like treating her seriously and listening to her ideas, everyone else is too. So I feel like we get some interesting relationship story building there between the sheriff and Jessica.
Well, so what I was gonna say is the server at the diner, her name is Lizzie. I looked it up. And she is from Hanover, Massachusetts. And in reality, she is the ninth great niece of John Carver.
Oh wow, that's so cool.
It's crazy. And it was her lifelong dream to be killed in a horror movie, which boy does she.
Oh
And we
yeah,
should
she
talk
gets an
about
gnarly
this
one.
because and she's one of the memorable faces in the riot.
Yeah.
She's one of the
She's
like,
right up front.
she's screaming and she's, intense. And she's not very nice still to people who are eating at the diner either, but she's kind of got that like small town waitress vibe. And she gets attacked by the killer. He does this pretty fun thing where he shoves her face into a sink full of
Hmm.
water and then opens the walk-in freezer and jams her up against the freezer. So like since she has the water on her face, it sticks her there and she's like her cheek and her hand are stuck and she has to kind of tear herself off.
Like in Christmas Story,
Yeah, exactly.
which was all terrified me as a kid.
Oh, because the stupid people do it all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
But the she actually gets out and starts to escape, and then the killer comes after her, and she's like climbing into a dumpster to get away from him, and he hits the dumpster with her car, I think, and then the dumpster closes and somehow cuts her in half.
Hmm. Oh,
And
it just
then
runs into her. She's jumping into
yeah, like
the
the lid
dumpster,
comes
and the lid comes
down,
down and like slices her when the car
slices her in
hits her.
half, and then her body is somehow arranged onto the sign of the store. Like her lower half is just up there. So
Yeah,
it's
it's
pretty
pretty
gross.
gnarly.
Yeah.
But this is also we also get some Final Girl research.
Yeah.
Jessica knows, and I don't know if she knew this the whole time or if she just remembered it, but the woman who there was a woman who was killed and she did PR stuff. So one of the things Jessica knows is that there was some footage of the riot in like the
Hmm.
security cameras and it was deleted and she knew that it still existed, so she wanted to find the backup because Kathleen
Right.
had said it was bad PR for the store. And so Jessica had been kind of like keeping this a secret and she wants to see what's
Yeah.
going on. She feels
That's one of the reasons
horrible.
for her guilt
Yeah.
is because she knows that Kathleen like deleted the footage or insisted
Yeah.
that the footage was deleted.
Yeah, exactly. So we get Final Girl research. And then that's where all the misdirection comes in. It's like this is the kind of My Bloody Valentine thing
Yeah.
where it's like we see the John Cusack guy, and I keep calling him that, but his name is Ryan. You see him hugging the security guard who had died, which was a red flag to her. She's like, is he the killer? Is he in on it? And there's all kinds of questions that there's all misdirections and it's a whodunit. Like
Yeah.
you said, it's a whodunit thing. But
Well, and we get another like so there's a bunch of red herrings
mhm,
and but they're really obvious, which I appreciated because it's like, okay, anyone watching this movie is probably a fan of slashers. We've seen all
mhm,
the stupid misdirection bullshit. And so they do a really funny moment with that with Ryan where he's like they suddenly show him kind of like shrouded in darkness and he's
mhm.
like putting the pilgrim hat on
Oh
in a really
yeah.
sinister way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then you see, oh, he's just like on set of
Yeah.
the like
Like the
parade
play
like
thing.
the play
Yeah.
whatever.
Whatever it
And
was.
so it's
Yeah.
like it's so obviously a wink to the audience that I was
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah. There's a bunch of those
you're
too.
like, okay, well he's never gonna turn out to be he's actually not that consequential of a
Yeah.
character ever, really. So
Well, also there's this like Hesher guy. So he was the character
I
that
mean
I
Eric,
thought, yeah, he was basically Eric.
he reminded me so much of
It
Eric.
was crazy. Yeah, he's wearing like his battle vest, which is like his denim vest with all of his patches and pins and stuff on it. He's really into, he likes to educate the youths on the various eras of Black Sabbath, Ozzy versus Ronnie James Dio. He's
Oh
very
yeah, those kids are
like
like, who's Black Sabbath?
I know he's like,
Get the fuck out of
get out of
here.
my, yeah, get off my property. We think maybe for a minute he's going to be the killer. It was interesting because that kind that kind of a Hesher usually is pretty like like liberal, and this guy it looked like he was kind of a redneck. He had
He's
like
selling guns
he's
to
and
kids.
he also says like, oh, we got lots of tactical shit, and like he had this little like shiv thing that
Oh,
comes
well,
out
he
of
had a belt. Like, and I was
yeah.
thinking, like, because she's like, no, I'm good. I'll be with him. And he's got a gun or whatever. But he offers Jess a belt that has like a knife, like a shiv, like built into it so
Yeah,
that you can just kind of went. And I was thinking, like, that is a perfect
I
final
know.
girl
I
weapon to have.
know.
You should absolutely take that.
And
He ends up bestowing
yeah,
she doesn't know it at the time, but a like tactical weapon
yeah,
to her, which she'll use later. But
yeah. I just loved that. I thought that character was really funny. I was a
it
little
was fun.
nervous that he was going to be like some creepy, like redneck, racist guy,
Yeah.
but he didn't end up, that didn't end up
Yeah.
the case. He was just, again, another red herring. He was a funny comic relief.
There's
with
a
a
lot of
funny,
comic relief.
yeah, yeah.
Like, wait, hold on. I wrote down a couple of really funny quotes, and I'm just gonna say them real quick because there's no other real place that these are gonna fit. But so when the killer starts sending like tagging them in posts, one of the kids is like, "Oh, I'm gonna DM him," and then the other guy's like, "Don't slide into the killer's DMs," which I thought was really funny. At the very beginning of the movie, when the riot is happening, someone says, "Everyone's gonna get their Furbies, all right," which
It's a good old
is
millennial nod.
good old nod because that is absolutely what I wanted one Black Friday. My uncle actually managed to secure me a Furby, and I had one for a while. Eric knows this because he hated it.
Oh,
And then lastly, the one I wrote down is if we let the police handle it, we're all gonna end up 50% off. It's just like none of this, like you said, none of it is taking itself seriously.
yeah, that's
It's
really
just trying to
good.
be a fucking fun
It
movie.
is, and it does such a good job at that. I really like just one last note about the Hesher guy. I
Sorry,
like
I
when he
derailed.
oh no, he basically gives them the weapons and he's like, keep yourself alive long enough to return that thing, which I was like,
Oh
okay,
yeah, yeah.
that's a fun like line for that guy. So no, you're right. They had some really fun lines there. And this is also like we see Jess her arc starting with the survivor's guilt, then she starts kind of doing her final girl research and we get a full plan. We get like the full thing. She's
Hmm.
like, we're fucked. We need to take him down. She comes up with this idea to go to the parade. She's like, I can't. You saw what happened to Scuba, or you see what happened to Yulia. We can't let that happen to anyone else. If we hide, then what's the point of all
Yeah, Yulia's
this?
dead by now.
Mm-hmm.
Scuba, who was her boyfriend, is one of the few left
Mm-hmm.
alive, and
Mm-hmm.
so he's kind of palling around with. We're kind of jumping around, but like people are dying left and right.
Yeah. Well, and she just
Actually,
refuses to hide. She's just like, I'm
yeah,
not going to run away from this. She's just proactive, which is a very final girl thing to
yeah.
do.
I was just gonna say one of the other enjoyable elements of this movie is that we get a very nice. So there is a kill scene for the security guard who bailed on the riot. He was kind of like, "Fuck this," and just ran.
Mm-hmm.
He is a very he's a Chris Farley type. I actually looked up to see if he was one of Chris Farley's brothers because he looks exactly like him. He's not. But so this guy lives alone,
With a cat.
except that he has a cat. And I want to bring up the cat because this is one of our future final
I was going
cats.
to say a real final
Yep.
cat.
And
Yeah.
actually, because so he played church in Pet Cemetery as well.
I didn't know
So
that. I saw there
yep,
was a credit to him in the
yeah.
scene. Yeah.
Yeah, so his name is Tonic, and he is a famous cat in movies because he did play church. And so we will be covering him at some point in a mini-sode. But also,
Patreon.
yep, Patreon.
Join our
Um,
Patreon if you want to listen to that.
Eli Roth mentioned that he felt like the cat was such a good actor that he called him Leonardo DiCaprio, which is something Eric would say. I can like totally picture Eric saying that. And so the reason I'm even bringing this up is because this movie does not, you know, this movie does not do the thing that we hate, where if someone has a pet, it's like, okay, the pet's only there because we're gonna see it die in a gruesome way. The killer, after he kills the cat's owner, feeds the cat
Hmm.
and pets it
Pets
and
him.
then walks out.
Hmm.
And so I looked into that, and there was an interview with Eli Roth in which he said, when I'm watching a movie and someone has a pet, I'm not in the movie anymore because if someone
Hmm.
gets killed, I'm just like, but who's going to take care of the cat or who's
Hmm.
going to feed the dog? I just can't enjoy the rest of the film. So I wanted to answer that question once and for all. And respect because
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was like my favorite thing about the
Yeah.
movie. Honestly, I was like, oh my God, that's
Yeah.
so nice.
Yeah. I totally agreed with you on that. I wrote that down too.
So, because this is what we were talking about with Night of the Reaper, where we're
Hmm.
like, why are you showing us all this animal death?
Yeah.
Nobody likes this.
Hmm.
You know, what we do like is this,
Yeah,
where it's like,
exactly.
oh, the animal's cared for anyway.
Yeah,
Like, that's
yeah.
nice.
Yeah,
So,
that's so cute. Yeah, I loved that part too. And the cat does this like this thing that my cat does where he just like scarfs it and then like hacks and then scarfs then hacks and then scarf like you actually he's like being a real cat.
yeah.
Like it's so realistic. So definitely a final cat situation. I love that part
Yeah.
too. Yeah. I love it. I love it. Can we talk about the final girl showdown?
Yeah.
One of my favorite parts of every final girl story. We this final girl the biggest final girl showdown is in the high school. There's a couple, but there's
Yeah.
a big one in the high school that I really wanted to talk about.
Because this one is the most like one-on-one
It
between,
is.
well, and we do see also the personal trainer get killed here in the high school as well. Like we get the trampoline
Yeah.
scene that happens in the, if you watch the fake movie trailer,
Hmm.
the kill that happens in that is similar to what happens here. And then and then the guy gets his head turned all the way around. But yeah,
Yeah.
the killer comes after Jess and she hides in like a cosmetology room.
Yeah, it's like a cosmetology room and there's all these mannequin heads and it's super creepy the way it looks anyway.
Hmm.
And I when I watched it the first time, I was like, "Oh my God, is she gonna put her head down like it's one of them?"
Fucking
And
did
she
it.
did, and it was perfect. It was like such a realistic,
Yeah.
a realistic way to like kind of fight back and hide right there.
I mean,
Like,
like it makes sense to do. I don't know if I feel like in the moment I might be too frightened to sit still and
yeah,
pretend that my head's a mannequin just in
yeah.
case it doesn't work, but it
Well,
does
it
work
doesn't.
here.
It
Well,
works
mostly.
until
Right. She knocks
finds
him with a
her and
hairspray, I
she
think.
sprays him with hairspray.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she runs. So
Perfect. Yeah.
yeah, another one of those situations of look what's around you and use what's around you and use
Hmm.
your like take a beat
Hmm.
and say okay, what is where's an angle here? Like what is something I can work with here?
Yeah.
And yeah, we also get kind of like this fake out that it was the killer is the Right Mart manager from that night.
Yeah,
It's a little
that's
fake
right. I
out.
forgot about that.
Yeah, yeah, but we do, we get a lot of. This is the time too that when we start getting these like fights, that we also get a lot of the commitment to the theme. So the pilgrim, the stepmom getting roasted
Hmm.
alive, wearing the pilgrim dress, the
Well,
corn cob
so
holders.
and not only that, but he's like basting her
Hmm.
and putting like what are those little sprigs of
Like
like
parsley or
or
something.
something. Yeah, just like decorative little sprigs
Yeah.
of like parsley all over her and then yeah, roasting her like a turkey.
Yeah, yeah. Yep. And then we kind of, we talked a little bit about the parade scene, but this was kind of like the big one. So this was the plan that Jessica had hatched. And again, we get a very I know what you did last summer type of a parade scene where
Yes.
she sees him
They're the
walking in the
bait.
crowd. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's all kinds of freak outs. There's one person that looks sketchy. It turns out it's just protesters.
Yeah.
And then there's a clown sniper.
Like yeah, the clown thing kind of threw me off because I was like, well, that's not really on theme.
Yeah. It looked
And
very purge like.
yeah, but that also made me think of Clown in a Cornfield. I'm like, oh, okay. And then
Okay.
I think he cuts the head off of the turkey mascot. There's just like chaos at this point.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah, this is pure chaos. But we also the John Carver killer also abducts her dad
mhm.
and Gabby and
And her.
others and her. And there is a very this is the table scene, which I think is probably like the most well known scene of the movie. And it's very John Carver's has like a voice changer, but it's very
Yeah.
taunting, which is it's really well done. He says something like he reveals that Kathleen, the stepmom, is the main course and is like,
And
oh,
she's like
Kathleen's
trussed
been,
up like a turkey. Like she's like
yep,
posed like a turkey. It's
yep. And
so
he's
gross.
like, Kathleen has been cooking all day.
Ugh.
And then he stabs the cheerleader with the wine key and he like
Yep.
pours, he's like, you got to let this one breathe, which is
Yep.
just so interesting. He forces the dad
Crazy.
to eat the stepmom's leg, like, show me how thankful you are.
Ugh.
But he also does this, because he says again that the CEO missed out on the quote unquote fun of the Black Friday riot because he was sitting at home in his mansion.
Yeah.
So there's the commentary there as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, he talks about like think of your greed and the people who die from it. Thomas, you love your consumers. Well, tonight you're going to be one.
Yep.
You're gonna be a consumer, and then gives them the meat to eat and just take a bite of your lovely wife and show
Yep.
me how thankful you are.
Yeah.
Show me that you're thankful or die.
Yeah. I mean, I will say that her like she looked very like dry the way he prepared her. Like I don't
Yeah.
know if anyone's actually supposed to be like it did is he doing it with the intention of like everyone's gonna have some of her? I don't want to go that far into it, but like it's or is it just for the purposes of like torturing the dad? I don't know.
I don't know, and as the vegetarian, I just don't let my
It's
head even go
gross.
there.
It is really gross.
But at this time too, Jessica is also cutting the rope that has her hands bound behind her with the little
Yes.
blade that the Hesher guy gave
Yeah, it
her.
was the ring, right? So he gives her a ring
Hmm.
that he said kept his dad safe in Iraq
In
and then
Vietnam, I think
in
it
Vietnam,
was.
oh,
Yeah.
Vietnam, sorry. And I guess it has like a little like built-in blade. Yeah. So she's
Mm,
like she saws through her own ropes and then she hands it to Scuba and then he saws through his own ropes. Oh, their other friend is dead by now because he got his head like tenderized by the mallet on the table. And so everyone's basically dead. The dad, when he sees that Jess and Scuba are free, he's like, run, like, get out of here. And they do.
yeah. Yep, it's wild. That is a very wild scene. I think maybe this is blasphemous, but I do love Jessica as a final girl, but I feel like it's maybe because there are other survivors, but I feel like this is not a movie about a final girl. She's just
Okay.
one of them.
I'm glad you said that because, okay, she has some strong final girl elements.
Hmm.
I never really connected to her though. Like
Okay,
she
that's
feels
fair.
kind of, I wouldn't say she's as flat as Dina from Night of the Reaper, but she doesn't emote that much and she doesn't get a lot of opportunities to have like much personality. And so
Kind of
she
like
does,
Julie.
yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Totally. Good
Like
point.
Julie from I Know What You Did Last
Really
Summer.
good point. Yeah. So yeah, kind of that like you said, kind of paint by numbers, just has the survivalist instinct and does some smart things, but overall didn't blow me away with her
Yeah.
character in the way that some other final girls have.
Well, you can project yourself onto her. I think she's
Yeah.
flat enough that you can really project your own like fantasy of being a final girl onto
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
And again, it's like just a silly, fun movie. But yeah, she is kind of bland, which
Yeah.
is a funny word to think of when we're talking
Mhm.
about a Thanksgiving dinner themed movie. But yeah, a little dry, a little bland, but really great. There are some great Final Girl stuff that she is tasked with, I should
Well,
say.
and so okay, so we're like right at the end basically, so we should talk about this. So, one of the great Final Girl moments that she does is that she is kind of taken into protective custody by the sheriff, and while she's in the room with him, she is kind of brushing like burrs off of her pants because she had run from the killer earlier through the bushes. So she's like brushing them off, and then she notices that the sheriff has the burrs on the bottom of his pants. And she's like, oh, okay, well, this isn't a good situation.
Hmm.
So at that point, we know that the sheriff is the killer,
Sheriff
which
McDreamy.
Sheriff Madreamy, I don't remember his character's actual name, so that's fine. But like, here's a little clue. In a horror movie, whenever someone is masked and their voice is being obscured, it is because they're someone that you know and would recognize
Hmm.
and are aware of. Like you'll see this in any movie. I actually think even did this in the new Superman movie. They do it in The Boys with Black Noir. Like any time you cannot adequately hear the voice and see the face, it's because it is someone that you will recognize and know and expect. And so, yes, it is the sheriff. Sheriff's the killer. And in fact, he tells Jess that she had inadvertently helped him find the people that he was hunting because she's the one who was kind of like, here's the footage,
Hmm.
here's, who was involved, and, thinking that he'd be able to protect them, but instead he was hunting them.
And
And
he said
so,
something to her like, "Be careful who you trust."
be careful who you trust. Yeah, exactly. Which is like in Night of the Reaper when what's his face says like it's never who you think it is.
Hmm.
It's like hint hint.
Hmm.
So Jess is kind of hearing him do this stupid villain monologuing like they all do. And then at the very end, she's like, you asked me what I was thankful for. I never got to answer. And he's like, okay, what are you thankful for? And she's like, says something like the service in here, like the cell service in
Oh
here.
yeah.
And she lifts up her phone and she's been streaming his entire speech to her. And so he knows that he is like super
He's
fucked at that
outed.
point.
Yeah. It's like the thing that took them down is also the thing that saved her.
Yeah,
The social
exactly.
media, the commentary on the social media. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. The showdown between Jess and the sheriff is great too because he's like, this year there will be no leftovers.
Yeah.
And she does the thing where she was running away and her locket that has the picture of her mom gets stuck on the fence as she's jumping over
Yeah.
it. And but she does, it like falls off, but she does grab it and
Hmm.
she's able, in a few minutes later, there's a big confrontation with a
Yeah.
rifle. And she had mentioned
I
earlier
think it's the blunderbuss.
the blunderbuss, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is also a very Hesher thing.
Yep. Well, and kind of a Thanksgiving, well, not Thanksgiving themed, but like
The
settler
time
themed,
period,
I
yeah,
guess.
yeah, yeah, the time period. But she packs the blunderbuss with the locket and shoots it at the turkey float and explodes
Yeah.
it, and that presumably is the end of the sheriff, which we find out is.
Which then we get again, My Bloody Valentine,
Yep, yep,
the
yep,
exact the exact thing, which
yep.
and they don't reveal it in the way that they do in My Bloody, so
You're so
and
right.
spoiler I guess for My Bloody Valentine, but like yeah, so at the end of both movies you think the killer is dead and like the first responders or whoever are like going in and taking care of things, and then someone walks out in like
Hmm.
their outfit, like their uniform or the miner's outfit, and you like expect like, okay, well that's the killer then. But
Hmm.
how did, and didn't My Bloody Valentine also end with an explosion, and that's what Tom like survived anyway? Like it's so reminiscent of it, which is fine. Like Eli Roth
Yeah,
obviously saw it and loved it. But
yeah.
it's very silly because then yeah, we get the like fake out dream thing at the end.
Yeah, yeah. Well, but even before that, he says there'll be no leftovers. She shoots
Yeah,
him, and she's like, "Yes, you're right. There's
you're
no
right, there's no left.
leftovers." Final girl to the max for sure.
Totally.
But yeah, there is a very, and this reminded me. I know what you did last summer. There is a scene. It's a dream scene, but she and her boyfriend are in bed and like it's after everything went down and she feels safe and she's laying in bed and she gets this like dream of Carver, the sheriff, like grabbing her and just like pulling her out of safety. Reminded me very much of the last scene of I Know What You Did Last Summer with
Yeah,
Julie and Ray in bed.
completely.
You just think she's safe and clearly she's not.
Completely. Well, and so real quick, you mentioned the line, the like, you're right, there will be no leftovers or whatever, which is a hilarious final girl retort. And I think we should start keeping track of these too, because we get a lot of these like moments where the final girl gets to have the last
The
say,
last
right? And
say,
so
yeah, the last
this
word.
one, that one is a lot more satisfying than what was Zephyr's. It was like ooby dooby
Ooby dooby
motherfucker. I'm like,
motherfucker.
stop, no. But then like at some point we're gonna cover the Friday the 13th reboot. That one has a really good one
Yeah.
too, because she says something like, Jason, say hi to mommy in hell. So like sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. This
You
one
know,
works. I
I
like
want
it.
to I want to make an oracle or a tarot card deck of just final girl last lines.
Right.
Yeah, that would be fun. I want to do that. I want to
Scream
do that.
things. If you
Send
have
us
a
some.
favorite final girl last line, yeah, please tell
Yeah.
us because
We
they're a
may
lot of
Oh, you know
fun.
what we could do? Oh, we could do like trading cards, like final girl trading cards
Ooh, I
with
love
her last
that.
with her stat oh my with her
That's a good
stats. Okay.
idea.
All right,
With the
maybe this is gonna be
stats.
our new merch line, everyone. So yeah, you're gonna want to
Final Girl
stay.
trading card series. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, this is it. This
That
is
might
it.
exist already. I don't know.
I'd be
I'll look it
shocked
up
if
on
it wasn't.
Etsy.
Yeah, I'd be
Yeah.
shocked. Yeah, this was yeah, so we get a very very satisfying final girl ending and clear sequel bait.
Clear sequel, just like I Know What You Did Last
Yep,
Summer. We're just
yep.
like, okay. But then, so did you happen to see the end credits scene?
I did. I
It's,
did.
it's so silly. So, I mean, it's not really, it's clearly not taking place within the context of the movie because it's like they were on, So there's a moment earlier in the film where the dad has this heartfelt scene with, I almost said Zephyr, with Jessica where he like apologizes to her for like how he treated her when like her mom died and when, you know, the stepmom is she sucks and like whatever. So he apologizes to her. So the end credit scene definitely takes place when they were filming that. And then so Jessica leaves the scene and then the actor who plays the dad is just kind of standing there like awkwardly, clearly waiting for them to say cut, and nobody does. And so he just like turns towards the camera and just like flips off the camera. And then everyone on set just laughs and then the movie ends. So I thought that was a cute
I
little
thought it was cute.
capper.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because so I don't watch a lot of superhero movies.
Mhm.
So I don't have this like instinct to sit and watch
And
for a post
wait.
credit scene. Like it's my instinct is always because I have friends and family in the industry, so I do watch the
Mhm.
credits just out of respect.
Yeah.
But I'm not like sitting there waiting for
Yeah.
the end credit or the post credit scene. And what was really funny is I sat down at the end of this movie and I loved it so much. And one of, if not my favorite Misfit song was the end credit song.
Hmm.
I was sitting there like jamming out, and I was
Yeah.
like, I bet there's going to be a post credit scene, and there was. I
Yeah.
was so proud of myself for like picking up on that. But it's crazy because I expected it to be something about like a sequel or something, and then he turns
That's
and does like
silly.
he flips the bird, and I was
Yeah.
like, okay, that just totally caps off this movie. Like
Totally. In a
it's not
fun way.
taking.
It's
It's so
showing
fun.
you
It's
like
so fun.
yeah.
It's
But
like
like
it doesn't take itself too seriously.
yeah, and you're right. They could have done like more of an involved scene to set up the sequel, which is clearly like if not already being filmed is
Hmm.
happening. So, I mean, we'll have to see how the story continues from
Yeah.
there. I mean, I'm sure we'll definitely watch it, but
Oh, 100%. Okay, so we're getting close to an hour. So I want to see what your thoughts are on the tropes and subversions for our final girl. We kind of touched on her final girl Ness, final girl Ness, but what do you think she embodies and subverts as a final girl?
I mean, she's kind of the basic final girl template,
Yeah.
is how I see her. Although not like the virginal, like Laurie Strode type, but she's just kind of like she has the survival instincts. She's part of a group of kind of rowdier people, classmates, but she herself is kind of toned down and she does the research. She's kind of like girl next door-ish
Hmm.
and she's like the the one who kind of is already dealing with some trauma
Yeah.
like Julie.
Yeah. Grieving
And
girl. Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, same thing. I think the same thing. She embodies the grieving girl situation. She's kind of got the conscious of the group. She's observant and intuitive and senses danger before everyone else. She's a truth seeker.
Yeah.
She has guilt. She has that survivor's guilt. She has this I gotta save my friends ethic, which
Yeah.
is very
Mhm.
Julie. And
Definitely.
then the things that I think with the biggest subversion is that the adults and people actually take her seriously and they
Hmm.
listen to her and they let her plan like
Hmm.
take shape.
Yeah.
The I think the other thing is she also doesn't get gaslit. How many final girls do we see get gaslit left and right? Like, oh,
Yeah.
you're imagining things. This is very clear that she knows she's not that everyone's in on it. Everyone
Yeah.
knows what's going on. So that's a big thing. She yeah, I think those are the big ones. There's, obviously the themes, our obsession with consumption,
Hmm.
corporate greed and violence,
Yup.
grief as a weapon,
Yep.
survival weapon sometimes.
Hmm.
And then, be careful who you trust. So what do you think this her as a final girl and this film's impact will be on the genre?
Um, I think it's kind of I think the movie for me kind of has like some of the has the same vibe as some of the modern Scream movies, Scream
Yeah, I get
sequels.
that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so it takes place in the time period that we're all well familiar with now, where cell phones are a factor, social media is a factor, and so all of that stuff kind of has to play into it. And so I think it fits nicely into that
Yeah.
niche.
Yeah. It's got the campy and but brutal slasher
Hmm.
vibe to it. I just love that horror is such a meta genre
Well,
anyway.
and I mean, we should mention because there is such a dearth of Thanksgiving themed horror movies, I think that any horror fan who likes to indulge in horror movies on holidays as tradition is probably going to add this one to their
Oh,
roster.
it's on my roster.
Yeah. So like
100%.
in that sense, it'll probably have quite a lasting
I think so
influence.
too. Yeah.
You
I
know,
think so too.
if you pick a holiday that's not well trodden horror territory, then you get added. So it's a good idea.
I did a quick deep dive in a quick deep dive. I did a deep dive in on Reddit about like, is this something that people are adding to their like
Mm,
usual repertoire? And it totally is. Everyone's like, yep,
totally.
this because not only, like you said, is it a underrepresented holiday,
Hmm.
it is also a 10 out of 10 movie. Like it's a
Yeah, it's
fun movie. It's
fun.
well done. So of course, those two factors together make it, I think, an
Yeah.
instant classic. So
Maybe
maybe
don't
I'll be
watch it
wrong,
right
but
before eating
yeah.
Thanksgiving dinner. Maybe
Yeah, it's
after.
funny. I after Thanksgiving dinner, our tradition is to watch Christmas Vacation with Chevy
Oh
Chase.
my
That's
gosh.
the first Christmas movie we watch of the year is on
I
Thanksgiving
refuse to do anything Christmas related until
until
December.
the day. Oh,
I will
until
not.
December.
I will
Okay.
not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But,
What do you give Jessica on our blood spatter badassery scale?
I gave her a one.
Yeah, me too.
I don't think she doesn't really like this is a really gory movie, but she doesn't really does she even get injured? I don't
No.
even she's pretty like clean
Yeah,
and
yeah,
intact at the
yeah,
end.
yeah. What is your final girl survival tip?
Don't leave the house on Black Friday.
Okay.
I honestly can't imagine any scenario in which it is worth it. There is no deal, in my opinion, that is worth the what you're going to encounter on Black Friday in the
Well,
US if you
and
venture out.
you're also supporting a system
Yeah.
that prioritizes profits over people, clearly.
Yeah.
So I agree with you
Especially
on that.
because of it like starting on Thanksgiving Day now.
Yeah.
Don't indulge them
Yeah.
that like it's so gross.
Yeah,
Just
it is.
whatever.
And it's such a marketing gimmick. I mean,
Yeah.
you're not actually saving money.
Oh
I
no.
feel like
That's the
that's
thing.
everyone knows that. Why are we buying in
Yeah.
literally buying into this? We know that these companies are literally just marking
Yeah.
them up regularly and then putting them on sale in
Yeah.
special cadences with in
Yeah.
relation to holidays or whatever. And those are the real prices they should be anyway. So
Yeah.
come on, don't bullshit a bullshitter here.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, mine
Wait,
is be
did you
careful
have
who you trust.
Oh, okay, be careful who you trust.
Yeah, 'cause that's what the sheriff says, and yeah,
Yeah.
so be careful who you trust.
Always valid.
Always. So we want to hear what you think, Scream Things. Reach out to us. Let us know if this is also part of your holiday Thanksgiving rotation. If you are also picking up on all of the other love letters that this movie writes to other horror movies, particularly I Know What You Did Last Summer and Halloween and My Bloody Valentine. And I got some Final Destination in there too.
Yeah.
Let us know. We want to hear, and if you too were also very pleasantly surprised by the final cat in the movie, we want to hear all of your takes. You can reach out to us on social media, Instagram, Final Girls the Podcast, Final Girls Podcast on Blue Sky. Our YouTube is Final Girls the Podcast, and our website is final-girls.com. Again, please leave us a rating and review. We would be very thankful for it. And on Friday, stay tuned and jump in on our Black Friday
Yeah. Do our thing
situation.
instead.
Yeah, don't go shopping, just join our little Black Friday list. We
Yeah,
would
you
love
only
to
have
have
to
you.
pay like $3.
Yeah, we'd love to have you. It's the steal of the century.
There you go.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, yes, I know we covered Jess.
we did cover
I just
Jess.
wanted to- I'll do over sign off in just 1 second. I just remembered one other thing I want to bring up,
Let's
which
hear it.
really made me laugh. Which is there's a classroom scene where like there's some grieving students after people are dying, their classmates presumably, and there's this kid who like stands up to do his book report or something, and so he's this really dorky looking
I laughed
guy,
at this one too.
and he's like crying a little bit. He's like sad, and he pulls up his shirt to like use it to wipe his tears. and he has the most like shredded abs on earth, like that you could possibly have. Like he doesn't even look real, and so he's being comforted by these other two like female classmates who just kind of follow him around. Like later you see them in the hallway again, and I think he gets another shot of like his abs. It just made me laugh so hard. I was just like, wait, what was that?
Yep. Oh, it's silly. It tracked. All of it tracks.
Very funny. Okay, well, that's it. Until the next Final Girls Showdown, happy Thanksgiving. Thank you so much for joining us. I've been Kelly.
I'm Sarah. Thank you, everyone. Stay spooky. Bye.